Where are you going so early, Mona? That's right, our first trip to the bins. We'll make a short video out of it. It's a beautiful day in beautiful snowy Michigan. So it's 7:47 right now, January 2nd, and we're gonna go to the bins. We'll do a little bit of footage. It's our first time ever. We got some tips and tricks from folks that have done it before. Hopefully we'll find some treasures. So we're supposed to meet with my sister and my dad because my dad has been there several times and he knows what he's doing. The original plan was to meet my dad and my sister at their place and then go, but we woke up 10 minutes late, so we're hopefully going to meet them there and work as a team. Is this the Holy Land?
We have arrived.
Are these the bins? Oh yeah, the outlet. Fantastic. All right.
See you on the inside, folks. These ones are a little better ones that like can show.
Nije to marka neka. So I found one Nike shoe. Maybe we'll find a match.
Yeah, put it up here.
Okay. So far we got some guitars. There's my dad taking away. So what do you think so far?
Yeah.
Interesting?
Can I be super nosy and ask what that is?
It's a GoPro.
Oh, okay. Are you like a reseller and you're videoing?
Yeah,
Awesome. Are you from the area?
Yeah, our first time here.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
You too?
My fiance is a reseller.
Awesome.
We're from Mount Pleasant, but I just seen you using that, and I was like, that's super cool.
Yeah,
We
cool.
watch everybody on TV, so it's just cool when you see somebody else actually doing it.
Awesome.
So.
Yeah. We're hustling hooks.
Oh, okay. You guys have okay, Hustle and Hook. I'm gonna remember that.
Awesome.
Nice meeting you.
You too.
Guys.
Take care. So I didn't find too much. I just found this DeWalt.
Sorry, did you say Hustle and Hook?
Yeah.
You got it. So I found this DeWalt case. So I'm gonna just start with some clothing on the underside. Time to process. This is one full cart, and Monda's still out there in the wild. Yeah. So what do you think?
Yeah, I'm good. Do you want? There's some nice photos on there.
So not bad for our first time. Do we still need to sort? I think we do. I think the top stuff still needs to be sorted. I'll go grab a cart. What an interesting experience. There's a line of people waiting to get in. We're snow drifting. Are we doing a haul video to conclude it?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, maybe.
We'll do a quick haul video when we get home, but there's the guitars are definitely the best. Mona found some really awesome clothes. We'll see when we get home. Not bad for our first time. Is it all gonna fit?
Yeah, probably. Hold on.
We're home now. Welcome
To our home.
To our home. Welcome. So I think before we get into it, so we'll show you the haul. Maybe we just talk about our experience. So your
Yeah, so
thoughts.
as first timers to the bins, I think I was expecting it to be worse than it was. I had heard some really terrible stories of like how gross and dirty and how crazy it was. But I think maybe it being COVID times has actually relieved some of that. Because they said they're only allowing 40 people in at any time. So I think there was some craziness going on, like when the new bins would come out, obviously.
Yeah.
But if that was more than 40 people in there, like, just imagine.
It would be a little wild.
Nuts that would be. It would have been like a zoo.
Yeah, that's a good point. There was a line actually when we were leaving. I think there were about 12 people in line waiting to get in because of the restrictions of capacity. Mm-hmm. That's probably the one thing I didn't like at all was just the lack of any personal space, because you would it's our first time there, right? Mm-hmm. So we didn't really know the routine, and my dad was there with us. My sister slept in because she woke up with our kid late last night. Anyway, he kind of told us, okay, they're gonna do this now, they're gonna do that now, and they kind of, you kind of line up, and it's kind of like a feast, like they line up the plates, and everyone's kind of really hungry to get in, but they're like, stand back.
Yeah.
I thought it was managed pretty well. I didn't see any aggression. I saw a little bit of bickering. I got hit by one cart.
Yeah, it was accidental though.
It was accidental. We just made a sale, which is always nice to capture when we're doing these videos. Yeah, I think overall it was okay.
Yeah, I thought it was fine, and I didn't think it was super dirty or anything.
No, I don't think so
thought the
either.
bins honestly were deeper. I thought there was going to be some
Real digging?
and nasty stuff I was going to have to go through, but they were actually shallow, so you can get through everything pretty quickly. People kind of do invade your space a little because they're just going through the clothes once you're in a bin, if they decide they want to be at the same bin that you're in.
Right.
There were a couple of times I had one to myself and I found some decent jeans and things like that.
To me, it was really interesting, watching behavior and seeing what people are doing. I noticed this one older gentleman. He was picking up individual blocks. They're not Lego, but they're a little bit bigger. Another guy was picking up little Hot Wheel toys.
I saw someone with just a cart full of toys.
Yeah, just toys.
Somebody else was purely collecting Disney things. That was interesting. And the hot ticket at least at these bins was shoes.
Yes.
So when the shoes came, they only restocked shoes once when we were there.
Yeah.
And when word got around that they were going to do shoes, I mean, it was just a mob.
It was a flock.
So I didn't even bother because it was so many people lined up around it, and it was just once they said you could start going through the shoes.
I found two pair. I guess we'll kind of just mention these two. A pound of pair of these Merrell leather clogs, decent condition. They're probably worth 30 shipped. Also found these Teva. Teva's a decent brand. These leather boots, they should sell for about $45-50 shipped. So these were leftovers, and I was pretty fortunate to pick those up.
Yeah, I saw somebody grab these really cute Sorel women's boots, and I was like, oh, those are good find. But it just wasn't worth it for me personally to try to fight that.
No. Yeah, it's a good point. Where do you line up and all that? There's definitely a strategy, and the other thing too I wanted to mention is that there's definitely a lot of opportunity there in all categories.
Yeah.
And we talked to a guy, shout out to his store. He mentioned his store name was Central Michigan Picker on eBay. He was there with his wife, and he said that they drive to the bins and they spend an entire day there. And we had that thought oh, we did pretty well for a couple of hours. If you're here all day, you could definitely find a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, you almost might only have to source for a day,
a
week. So it can be worth it if you only have so many days to thrift. I can see if you're full-time, you set aside a whole day to go to the bins. And if you're thorough enough, you can find some decent stuff. It's pretty efficient.
Yeah, the other thing too that I'll mention before we get into the actual haul, I'm really happy that we waited 17 months to go there, because now I consider ourselves relatively good at this. And we were able to pass on a vast majority of stuff where maybe if we were a lot more eager and we were not really understanding the process of selling things on eBay, we would have ended up with a lot of things in a death pile But because we knew what we were doing, the things that we got home are definitely things we're going to be listing and not just sitting on. So maybe that's one thing to consider if you're thinking about going to the bins. Be very particular and maybe find a couple of like niche areas that you're looking for, and also like triple check everything before you leave there, because you're gonna find stains and rips and damage on something that you might have not seen out of excitement.
Yes.
Do you want to tell them about the tragedy?
Yeah, I was actually just thinking, this is like the biggest disappointment. Thank you. So I love Polly Pockets. I love them. I've recently decided I'm just going to continue building the collection that I started as a small child. And I was thinking, I was at this bin, there's lots of small toys, and I'm like digging, I'm like, oh, wouldn't it be great if I found a Polly Pocket? I didn't, but then I met up with the dean a few bins down, and he's like, oh, is that a Polly Pocket? And it was a 1997 Nintendo Pokemon one. Didn't have any of the little pieces, but it was awesome. It was like a Nintendo Polly Pocket. It was in the car, and I just don't know what happened to it, you guys. It fell out somewhere between checkout
R.I.P.
and the car.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing it in the corner of the car at checkout, so I don't know what happened to it.
It must have fallen out. It must have. I mean, we looked through everything. It was like, the value doesn't even matter. It was like worth like $40, $50 shipped. Like super, it's a Polly Pocket
size, yeah.
But we lost it.
Yeah.
So anyone watching, if you come across any Polly Pockets that are vintage, the classic style, reach out to us on Instagram. We'll buy them. Munda has an awesome collection from her childhood that's worth several $100s, and she has like all the little pieces and stuff. So definitely collecting that. If you guys come across it or have some for sale, please reach out. We'll gladly buy it from you.
That was the disappointment of the day, but now let's continue on to things we did get for sale.
For sure.
So I can drown out my sorrows in the dream of making money. We spent 2 hours at the bins. We're going to go through what we got, and at the end we'll tell you what we think the total is that we can list them for.
Yeah.
So our gross sales number, essentially, at the end.
Yeah, so let's just jump right into it. Mona has notes, so you want to do the notes for a couple of these pieces? And
yeah, so we already looked these up just real quick.
Yeah.
So this is just it's a vintage like trucker hat. It has the Michigan Department of Corrections seal on there, and we could probably get about 15 for that.
Yeah.
And these
nothing
prices
crazy.
include the shipping cost.
Right.
So I'm not going to say 50 free ship, 15 free ship every time. Just understand that these numbers do factor in the shipping cost. And
also understand, like, if you guys haven't watched our free shipping video, please feel free to do so at any time. Small first class items that are light, typically $5 is what we build in. Medium sized items like jeans and smaller toys, about $10 for shipping. Larger items, about 15 to 20. There's not a lot of larger items. So on average, just think, if you're watching, about $10 of shipping per item, with the exception of small stuff. So
right.
Let's get that out of the way. Let's go right through it.
So this is a basic sort of puffer vest. It doesn't really have a lot of puff to it, but it's vintage, made in USA. And this stuff does well for us on Etsy. I specifically picked it up. We are, of course, going to list it on eBay and Posh, but I always list that stuff on Etsy as well. And I generally list those tops for $40. Also free shipping on Etsy too. So
next up is a pair of Wrangler, but these are lined, so there's a line inside of them, right, to keep you nice and warm. I actually asked for a similar style for Christmas, but no one makes them in length 38. So maybe one day I'll find a pair. What did you evaluate these at?
About $32.
Nice. Average buy cost for clothing is about $1.50 for this haul. There's a Columbia fleece, basically, full zip, and
yes,
you got
size
this one
extra
out?
large, and that will be about $35.
Next up, this brand we're not familiar with. It's Guide Gear. It's made in China. It's an extra large, but it's a lined work coat. So we're gonna specifically look for somebody named Kurt to buy it. That's a small joke. I'm sorry for my bad jokes. Really nice condition. The Kurt thing doesn't really matter. It's just a work outfit.
Yeah, when I grabbed it, I was hoping it was going to be a Carhartt because that would have obviously been a great find.
Right.
But these work coats, they're durable. They're well made still. Not as well as a USA coat, but we priced that at $40.
Yeah, not bad. So 40 bucks, paid $1.50, $40, $8 to ship it, right? There's about $25 net profit after everything, which is not bad for a coat. All right, next up, excellent, like new condition. This is another Columbia jacket. It's missing the inside liner, so it's like a thin windbreaker, but really neat colors.
Yeah.
Really nice condition.
Without the liner, we still think we can get $25 for it.
And it'll ship first class for sure. Another Columbia, another fleece, really nice condition again. Looks like a woman's.
Yep, it's a women's medium, so we'll list that one for $35 as well.
This was a surprise find. We didn't look this one up initially. We knew the brand Wrangler, but it's Wrangler Biggs work gear. This is like a very thick canvas type, carpenter type pant with a lot of pockets. Of course, you have this little piece here for like a hammer or something. Like new condition for sure. And you found value at about?
Yeah, $40 for those.
Which is not bad. Like that's what we target.
Yeah, so I felt them and they just feel like they're really good work quality, right? Yeah. So they're good work pants and they're in excellent condition, like Adine mentioned.
Yeah,
they actually have like over 100% sell-through rate for pre-owned, which is, I was a little bit surprised even.
Especially for Wrangler, it almost feels like a tarp. Like it's just like a very thick canvas. So awesome find by Melinda. Melinda actually found most of these clothing pieces. I struck out with clothing, with the exception of this little hat. So this is a pure Scottish wool vintage golf cap. I don't really know the brand. It says Montheists of Glasgow. Made in Scotland. We think we can get about $15, maybe $20 shipped for this thing, which is not bad. It's 2 or 3 photos, pretty easy to list.
Yeah. So then I pulled another set of vintage sweaters randomly. This one has some spots. I'm gonna try to spot clean them. And I think because these are from the bins, we will actually wash all of these clothes.
Agreed.
We don't normally wash all of our clothes from regular Goodwill unless there's a clear need to. But I think getting them from the bins warrants a good wash. So as long as I can get that stain out, I'm gonna put this up on Etsy as well. Again, made in USA. So I'm gonna put it up for $40. Same for this one as well. Made in USA, vintage sweater. These sell well for us on Etsy at the price point of $40. And this one is in excellent condition. And it's just this beautiful, like 100% cotton sweater. This is just like a basic Nike spell out, full zip. Doesn't have the
drawstrings.
Thank you. But otherwise, it's in great condition. And this exact one sold, I think, for like a little over $40. So I think, sir.
Please reference your own notes.
Yeah. So we're gonna list ours at $30.
Yeah. So that's the other thing too. When your buy cost is low, you can negotiate and kind of compete price-wise, because if we paid $9 for this thing, for example, we wouldn't list it for $30 because there's just not enough profit margin. For $1.50, we're still talking about like a $20, taxable income off of one sweater, which is pretty sweet.
Which you can fall into a trap with that though at the bins because your buy cost is low. So we were still mindful of our brands because again, we don't want to sit on a bunch of this stuff.
Right.
So these are Duluth. These are a nylon camping elastic waist. They're women's pants, excellent condition. These have an awesome sell-through rate, and this pair in this color repeatedly 40 plus 8 shipping. So we're gonna list it for $48.
That's an awesome find.
Yeah. Okay, these are silver jeans. These are the Gordy, which I actually just took photos of the Gordy silver jeans last night. We had another pair. These are distressed, including the hems. That tends to not really matter so much when you have these sort of like rugged style jeans.
Stylish.
Yeah, it's in. So
God, one day I wish one day I want to be cool enough to wear a pair like this.
Yeah, so these sell, we're gonna list ours at $45, but they sell, if the hems are in good condition, they sell like $55, $60. So
That's
actually,
awesome.
yeah, we might throw them up for 50, and then when
Yeah,
we take
go from there.
offers, yeah.
Yeah, you found some awesome jeans.
Thank you. And then these are Helix. Took a couple pictures of these last night as well. Helix has flary pockets. That's kind of what we look for when we check out new brands, is if it's got some flair to it, we think, oh, okay, that might be worth looking up.
Yeah.
So again, some fraying at the bottom, but nothing crazy. And I think I looked these up. We're gonna list these for $35.
Yeah, and one comment on both of these, like we've sold several pair of Helix and several pair of BKE Silver, so that's one where like we don't have to look it up every single time. We know we're gonna get between 35 and 45 bucks shipped for these types of jeans.
Right. And we actually just sold a pair of Levi's loose carpenter fit jeans, which I did find, but they had a big rip, like right in the crotch area, which was unfortunate because we sold those for $50.
Yeah.
These are Day Trip jeans. They're women's.
Is there another buckle brand?
I think
they are.
They are. But these are like the Aries skinny. So this style does sell well. And we're going to list these ones for $30.
One more in there.
Yeah.
This surprised me.
Yeah, so these are new with tags Carhartt shorts.
New with tags at the bins.
And it wasn't even a new cart that had come out. I was browsing through the leftovers essentially. Like I would like randomly just go graze when they're waiting for new carts.
Right.
And I found those. These were... So we're gonna price those at $35.
Which is pretty wild, right? Finding something new with tags at the bins, it's pretty crazy. I'll go through these two real quick. So this is just a simple Vans floral, older style. Has this, I'm pretty sure this is fake leather on top, but really nice condition. It's worth probably like 20 bucks shipped, and it'll ship first class. Just a really neat, retro-ish style design. Then I found this satchel, really nice leather condition. These can be hard to price and understand because they're, you can buy cheap versions of this new, but this is older, and I'm going to try to get close to the camera to explain why I decided to pick this up. If you look at the actual like metal pieces on here, they're just older. You can see wear on them. And then someone treated this with leather. You can kind of feel the, I don't want to say mustiness.
The care. You feel the care and
the care. Really nice condition overall. We think we can get between $35 and $55 shipped. We just have to do a little bit more research. And again, it's really easy to ship this. You just pop it into a poly mailer. So definitely a neat piece in my opinion. And then these sell pretty well on eBay. Oh, another backpack. What did you price this one at?
25 as well.
25 bucks. Yeah, so this is just a Swiss gear backpack. Just be mindful when you're picking up backpacks. Look at all the zippers. Make sure there's no major staining. I remember finding a North Face at Goodwill, but it had just staining all over the place, and those tend to do really well. Let's jump into the hard goods next. So I'm just going to hand these guitars to Melinda one by one. These are worth these are for the Nintendo Wii. They're worth about $45 shipped, and they're nice because you can disconnect the tops and they'll ship for about $9. Right. And you can tell they're Wii because of that connectivity. This one is actually a super nice one. It's an Xbox 360 Des Paul. And that one I'll pop on the screen. That one sells between like 60 and 90 shipped. And the nice thing is, none of those need dongles. Another Xbox one, this one's worth about 40 shipped. And then another Guitar Hero for the Nintendo Wii. I didn't look this one up specifically, it's the Gibson, and that one's probably worth about 40 shipped. Yeah,
so we have 4 that are about 40 shipped, so that's like 160, and then the one that's 85 shipped. So we made our money back just on these guitars. And we're not necessarily gonna list them separately. We might wait until we have a lot, and then we can maximize our value with other things as well.
Moram se zahvaliti tati za ove. Ovo je tata našao I pokazao nama da su za prodaju. Po $2 smo platili. Hvala tata.
His dad found them. And then we gave his dad a Cabela shirt that I found.
Yeah, that was fair. And we also sorted a bunch of stuff for him because he's not great at looking up values, but he does bring a lot of money into my family.
Yeah, and clothes, we helped him with a little bit.
We did, yeah. I found these two Skylander like launch pads or portals. This one right here is special-ish. This one sells for about 30 bucks shipped. This one is not so much. This one probably only sells for like 10, 15 shipped. Probably gonna lot them up for like $35 or $40 shipped for both of them. Another Guitar Hero thing, this is DJ Hero for the PS2 or PS3. This one does require a dongle, so it's gonna go into not our death pile, but our like, you know, waiting pile to see if we can find a dongle for cheap so we can pair it. Otherwise, it's not really worth our time listing.
Right.
As is, it's probably worth like 20 bucks shipped.
So this is just the DeWalt case. There's nothing actually in here, but the cases sell by themselves for 20 bucks shipped.
Which is not bad.
Not bad at all.
And this
for
is
just
for
a box.
this is for a modern drill.
So this Nerf gun doesn't really hold a lot of value separately. We have some other smaller Nerf guns though that we can lot it up with, and we're probably just going to throw it up on Facebook Marketplace. For the purpose of this video, we'll value it at $5.
Yeah, we've done really well with Nerf selling it locally.
And
Hashtag pots and pans. We didn't find anything crazy.
Right.
This one had a black bottom, which is really rare to find in this condition. Usually there's silver on the bottom. I'll stop with my horrible jokes. This one just needs a lot of cleaning. It's a Farberware, nothing special,
I
but
don't get that joke.
you didn't get it?
No.
Because it's black on the bottom. It's so bad. Okay.
I don't.
Horrible
What's the
joke.
joke though?
I'm so sorry.
Does anybody else get that?
No, I said I'll stop. Another Farberware. This is worth about 20 bucks shipped. Again, with these lower value ones, and then just a lid for Farberware. You can tell because it has that unique style knob on top that it is Farberware. We'll wait to lot these lower value ones up in a bigger lot. Melinda found these two. These are both Kelphalon. We don't usually mess with Teflon coated, but these are in really good condition. And together they're worth between $40 and $60 shipped. So a really nice find.
Thank you. Are you saying because like, oh, it's really rare to
Stop.
find them in such bad condition?
It's just a joke. It's just a really bad joke. I already apologized for the bad joke.
Some other random finds that we had were this Claudine Wolf. She's a Monster High. We're just gonna put her in the waiting to be lotted up when we find some more.
Yeah, we recently sold a lot of 11 of these that are damaged or incomplete for 60 bucks shipped. So these definitely have value even when they're just limbs.
Right. And then this was a cool find. These are somebody's home photos of New York, but they're obviously, as you can tell, they have the Twin Towers in them. So this was pre-2001, and here's one where it's all lit up at night. So I just picked that out. I thought it was actually just really cool.
It's definitely a
little
piece of history.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a ton of value. Maybe we can get like 20 bucks shipped for them, but like that's it's just cool. Like they're cool. I don't know how else to describe it. They were all loose, right? They weren't like in a binder.
Yeah, they were just floating around.
Yeah. So anyways, how did we do, Melinda? You did all the numbers.
So we spent $71 total for everything. Plus I got Jessica like a unicorn tutu, and I got her a unicorn jacket that she probably can't wear for, I don't know,
A couple of years.
a few years, but I just couldn't leave them. So that includes those. So let's say $70 for everything that we're gonna sell.
That's fair.
And with the numbers we gave you and priced them out at, we should get $1,200 gross. That is not bad.
Off of $70, it's not bad at all.
Yes.
So let's think about these numbers in this way. Its gross sales are going to be about $1,200. Half of that is what we're going to keep roughly. So $600, let's say it takes us 10 hours to process, list, drive, package, wash, like the entire cycle.
Plus the 2 hours we spent
Plus
actually
the-
at the bins.
Yeah, plus the 2 hours there. Between the two of us, it's about 10 labor hours. So if you take $600 cash, that's net, that's actual cash profit divided by 10, that's $60 an hour profit for reselling old stuff on eBay.
And if you want to get real specific and divide that by 2, $30 an
Per hour
for each of us.
That's pretty damn good, right? Just like for picking stuff up at the bin. So,
and we'll probably get more than a 50% return on that, because 50% is what we generally average for when we're shopping at the regular Goodwills.
when we're paying up.
So I would say, because our buy cost is so low on this, we would probably keep closer to 60. So $30 an hour, I think, is a low estimate.
So would you go back?
Yes, I would. I mean, I wouldn't go back all the time, because that just would be so much stuff, and
Right.
for a 1 or 2 person operation, that I see how this would get very overwhelming very
Right.
quickly. But I would definitely go back like once a month, twice a month, maybe even once a week if we were full time and reselling was our main goal, for sure.
And like for us, it's winter, right? It's Michigan. We're in the northern hemisphere. Garage sales are not happening right now. Estate sales are pretty low. So definitely another way we can win with sourcing.
Yeah,
So-
and I'm glad we went. I feel like we've been initiated into actual reselling at this point, because we hadn't ever been to the bins.
Right.
And that was just like that's just what resellers do. They go to the bins. So I'm glad that we went. I'm glad we got to see what it was about.
Yeah.
See what it's like.
Yeah.
And I think we'll be more prepared in the future. And I would definitely go to other bins too in other cities, because I'm sure these bigger, ours was relatively small.
Yeah.
I would say it was not huge by any means.
I think
Although I did get almost 7,000 steps in.
Yeah. It's
There's that.
about, I think roughly 1,000, maybe 1,500 square foot was pretty much all of it.
Right.
Which is not really that big, and I really am glad that they limited it to 40 people. That's for sure.
It would be a whole nother ball game if or when they go back to letting
100
I don't know.
people?
Do they
Like,
let
how
everybody
many?
in? Do they have a capacity? I have no idea.
Eesh.
So that might change my mind too.
Yeah.
But I think it's a fun thing to do
Once in a while.
every so often, for sure.
I think that we'll cut this video off here. I really do hope you guys enjoyed it. This is like the raw reaction of us going to the bin. So thanks for tuning in as always.
Yeah, let us know, how do you do when you go to the bins? What do you find? What's some good stuff? Was this pretty average, pretty normal?
Yeah. Or the best find you ever had. I'd love to hear that.
Yeah.
We do read and reply to every single comment. So if you guys have any questions for us, leave a comment and we'll get to you.
Until next video, bye.
See you later. Have a good day.